guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a recipe of how to make these delicious Portuguese egg custards. Now, I'm not telling you guys these are nutritious and these are healthy because they're definitely not, but what they are is they are delicious. So I'm going to share with you this recipe today because we recently went over to Portugal and these are like a delicatessen and a favourite over there. So I thought I would share a little Portuguese recipe with you guys. If you're watching this video and you're new to my channel, then I would love for you to hit that subscribe button down below. Every Sunday at 7 AM UK time, I post a brand new recipe idea. So if you like that kind of thing and need a little bit of like meal inspiration, then I would love for you to subscribe. So for this recipe, what you're going to need is some puff pastry. You can make your own if you want to, but I have cheated and I have got store-made one because it's just so much easier and it makes the whole making process so much quicker. You're also going to need half a cup of double cream, half a cup of sugar, 1 1/4 cups of whole milk, 2 egg yolks, 4 teaspoons of cornstarch, and 1 1/4 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Right, so the first thing we want to start off by doing is making sure your worktop is nice and clean. You want to get some flour and just sprinkle it onto your worktop because this is where you're going to work with your puff pastry. And if you don't sprinkle flour down first, then it will just stick to your worktop and become really hard to work with. Right, so what you want to do is just take off all of this parchment paper that comes with your puff pastry, like that. And then you want to re-roll up your pastry. So lay it down and then just roll it back up. So your roll looks like that with no parchment paper in between. So now you kind of want to coat it in your flour so it doesn't stick to your worktop. And get yourself a knife and start cutting it into sections. Each little quarter has to make 3 cupcakes. Right, once you have got your 12 sections, what you want to do is get a rolling pin and for each section just kind of like spread it out like this to make it fit into your cupcake holders. So I just keep on rolling it, and then what I do is I get my little cupcake tray and I lay it over the top, and I can see that it's quite a lot bigger than that. So I just slowly push that into the hole, and what I like to do is I like to have a little bit kind of coming out over the top just so I can fill my custard mix right to the top. Carry on doing that with all 12 little sections. They are all done. So what I'm going to do now is pop these in the freezer while I make my custard mix. The reason you want to put them in the freezer is so you kind of like harden them up, so when you put the custard mix in here, it doesn't all soak through into the pastry. So it's very important to do this step. Right, so now what you want to do is get all your wet ingredients and pop them into a frying pan, and then you want to just whisk them all up until the sugar has dissolved. So I'm going to be adding in 1 1/4 cups of whole milk. I've got half a cup of double cream, half a cup of sugar, 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. You want 4 teaspoons of cornstarch. This is what's going to thicken everything up. And then finally, you want 2 egg yolks. So obviously you want to do this into a cup because if you're anything like me, I find separating the yolk from the white really difficult, and more often than not, it doesn't go to plan. So what you want to do is just give this all a little mix around and put it on a really low heat. Make sure you're obviously getting all of that sugar dissolved into your mixture. So to heat this on a low heat is really, really important, otherwise you're just going to burn everything, it's going to curdle and it's not going to work. So basically what you're trying to get to with this is for the mixture to kind of thicken up enough for it to start coating the sides of your pan. That's when you know it's going to be ready. You don't want it to boil either, you just want there to be a little bit of steam rising up off your liquid. And that's when you know you're ready to stop and take it off the heat. As you can see, this step takes a while. I've made myself a coffee. I'm checking Instagram, but I think we're ready. So the final test is get a spoon, pick up your liquid, and then as you take it off, if there's a coating on the spoon, that means it's ready. So what we're going to do is take it off the heat, but you want to carry on whisking, because if you don't, it's going to create like a little film on top, and that's not nice. And what you need to do is just make sure it cools completely before you take your little cups out of the freezer and fill them up and pop them in the oven. It works quite quickly because you don't want to let the mixture sit in here without being cooked for very long, otherwise it makes the bottoms go soggy. So as you can see, Chris said that I should maybe like tidy these up a little bit around the side, but I think they actually look really nice as they are. I'm going for the kind of like easy finish type thing. So what I'm going to do now is get my little scooper and pour some mixture into each one of these and then pop them in the oven on 230 degrees for half an hour. Let's get filling. They are done and ready to go in the oven. Okay, so I've set my timer for 20 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check them after 20 minutes just to make sure that one side isn't getting more cooked than the other, just so they're browning nice and evenly. And if they're not browning evenly, then just turn your tray around, cook them for another 5 minutes, have another check, and then leave them for the last 5 minutes. So after 25 minutes to half an hour, your egg custards are ready to serve with a lovely cup of coffee. The only thing that's left to do is give them a try. That was totally worth the whisk. Delicious. Enjoy, guys. Thanks for watching.